In our final 5-6 minutes, we have a couple big picture questions. This next one doesn't necessarily have to do with cryptocurrency, although it could. More critical thinking, more fun. Let's say you were starting over today with just $1,000 to your name. How would you go about accruing wealth to the level you currently are? Like some practical steps.
Oh, I'm poor. All my friends are rich. I got friends. They're way richer than me. Damn, they're killing it.
All right, for those guys then.
Yeah. What would I do? I think the two components, let's start there maybe, would be one, I would look to see how I could drive cash flow. And then two is I would look for investments that fit the risk profile. And it would really depend on if I was young or if I was a little bit older, and like kind of what my responsibility, am I married? Do I have kids? Do I have other, student loans, whatever. But if it was kind of, look, you have no downside risk that you need to worry about and no kind of responsibilities, you're like a 22-year-old kid, I would just go for it, man. I would try to drive as much cash flow as I possibly could. And I would take every kind of asymmetric bet that I could find. And so those asymmetric bets, like I don't know of an industry nearly as asymmetric as kind of the Bitcoin and crypto world. A bunch of different ways to play it, but it just feels like, yes, I'm biased. I just don't see anything else that's even close to how asymmetric it is. So I think you would just have to go in. And then the other thing too is if you're optimizing for pure economic return, like there's all kinds of crazy stuff you could do. We see all kinds of these projects that, what's the Axie Affinity? Like the Delphi Digital guys were telling me about this a while ago, and it was at like $5 or $6. Next thing you know, it's literally at, $60. Right. And like one, they're like the best investors in all of DeFi by far. But two is that's just not normal in the traditional market. Like the stock market would shut off trading of an asset that was doing stuff like that. Right. They'd be like, all right, time out. Like something's going on here. And so there's a moment in time where there's incredible wealth being generated across the entire industry. And so I generally think that if you want to accrue wealth and other people are getting rich, you should go and participate where they are. And it may be a bubble. It may be unsustainable, but there is an element of not being able to predict the end of the bubble or predict the end of that kind of insanity. And so, I think it's like Bill Gurley. It's just like the best time to stop investing in a bubble is 2 years after it popped. Because like literally like it just goes on way longer than you thought. It's way bigger than you thought it could be. And from a pure financial return standpoint, like you're actually probably pretty good. People in 2016 thought the stock market was a bubble, was going to correct. Like imagine if you stopped investing in 2016, like you missed, so much of the gains in the stock market, right?
And just as a follow-up, and maybe you already covered this, but let's say you put 80% in Bitcoin or that asymmetrical upside, that 20%, I'm just looking for like practical examples of some other things. Gaming, you said, is one.
Yeah. So infrastructure is like the short answer. A lot of the things that I've invested in, whether they are true companies or they're more like in the decentralized side, so take something like a Risk Harbor, a Sovereign, take even something like a BlockFi, et cetera. Each one of these actually ends up being kind of an industry infrastructure bet because they're able to, okay, we support these assets. We're going to add more in the future. If one ends up not working, then like we're fine because we support, kind of multiple assets. And so I think a lot about just, if you ask me what's the highest conviction thing that I know, is this industry will be way bigger in the future than it is today. All the details matter, but they matter less than that one important point. And so like, how do you invest where you win if you are right on the industry will be bigger? Well, go find infrastructure and invest, there. And it may not be the highest returning in terms of there's always going to be, that altcoin that goes up whatever amount. But to me, it's the Venn diagram of it's the most repeatable, sustainable, kind of durable strategy with good enough returns, right? Bitcoin, I don't know, it's compounded at like 200% annually for a decade. There's nothing in the traditional world that's doing that. And so, sure, is something else going to go up more? Maybe, but just don't be greedy.
Yes, great perspective. To watch the full conversation, there's a link down below in the video description. And if you're interested in making money and learning about cryptocurrency, click subscribe. We drop a video every day. You do not want to miss one. See you tomorrow.